All right, our next speaker comes to us from Epicore Biosystems in the United States. I'd like to welcome Dr. J Aranyosi.
Hi, thank you. At Epicore Biosystems, we focus on building wearable devices to monitor human health, largely through hydration. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the things we've been working on. As we all know, the planet's been getting hotter. The last 9 years have been the hottest 9 years on record, and there's every reason to believe that trend is going to continue. And that increased heat is a problem for all of us, but in particular, it's a problem for a lot of people who work outdoors. So for instance, athletes and workers who spend their time outdoors. And it's been estimated that the global impact of heat on productivity ranges in the trillions of US dollars. So this is a big problem that people have to deal with. Now, the largest way our bodies deal with heat is through sweat production. But sweat production itself can lead to dehydration, which can lead to further health problems. And so it's very important in people who are working in hot environments to be able to monitor their sweat losses. What are they losing in sweat? Not just the water, but also the electrolyte and salt content, to be able to help people properly rehydrate and be able to continue to manage to thermoregulate in these hot environments. But people are all very different. So for instance, we've measured in field studies in a single day, when you look at a population of people, they can lose anywhere from 1 to 12 water bottles worth of liquid, and anywhere from 1 to 15 sports drinks worth of sodium. And that's because the salt content of sweat, not only the amount of sweat that people lose varies from individual, but the salt content of sweat can vary drastically. And even within an individual from day to day, depending on weather conditions, the intensity of activity, the amount of activity, we still see very large variations in the amount of sweat people lose. And so it becomes very important to be able to monitor individual sweat losses and provide feedback to people to tell them how to rehydrate, how to stay hydrated in these hot environments. So to do that, Epicore Biosystems spun out of a research lab at Northwestern headed by John Rogers, where they developed wearable microfluidic systems. And here you can see one of the first prototypes of this. This channel on the outside fills up with fluid as the person sweats. And there's an RFID coil here that can be used to trigger a software application to analyze this device to measure sweat loss as well as sweat composition. But of course, this was just a research project, not mass marketable. And so our goal at Epicore Biosystems was to be able to take this concept and bring it to the mass market to help people be able to rehydrate. And we started out by focusing on athletes with the goal of eventually being able to also focus on workers. But these two populations have very different needs when it comes to monitoring hydration and getting feedback. So for athletes, I'm not sure why this is not showing all at the same time, but for athletes, you want to measure sweat loss during a workout and provide feedback at the end of that workout so the athlete can develop strategies for rehydrating, getting ready for their next workout, and by monitoring their losses under different conditions, different workout intensity